Part 3, After a Death Life. 34. Lifetimes. I thought I had seen and heard a happy ever after ending from Tilikum. However, in the early morning hours of Sunday, January 8th, 2017, I was roused from a deep slumber by a ghost-like whimper declaring, "I have been dead 48 hours. I shook lethargy from my muddled mind while trying to remain reachable. I glanced at the clock. I think it might have been 3:24. I remember thinking 3 the body, 2 loves for this season. So I am reasonably sure it was between 3 and 4 a.m. Anyways, a visitation from Tilikum was the last thing I had expected. Once I grasped that Tilikum had come to me, he flooded me with his plans. Instantly, he transported us to the cliff above the seaport and leaped inside my heart. This was another one of those unexpected, oh my gosh, it's like his energy was so powerful and loving. I got a mosquito flying around me. That's not good. I was taken back by the surge, and I couldn't help but embrace his love swimming through me. His slick, wet, healthy hide dripped, then gushed throughout my body. I freely admitted his joy at being free and loving me. Then, when he had finally broken his thoughts inundation with me, Tilikum moved back a bit. I took a good look at him. He was a healthy and vibrant, bright gray light. After a moment, he stated more than asked, "Come swimming with me." And before I could question or answer, we were in the ocean far away from the cove. He took me through time, traveling to long ago places. In visions, he showed me myself as I existed back then, through his eyes as we traveled through the ages, dimensions, and times. In one of his fondest memories, I was a child, then a grown woman, dark-skinned and dark-haired, who had often come to the shores and cliffs of an island to visit him. Sometimes I would run down the beach while he swam and spewed water from his blowhole in welcome. I waved in greeting to him as I skipped happily along, laughing at his antics. And what came to me is how today, in today's world, we can take boat tours, or maybe you're fortunate enough to live in a place where you get to see whales out in the oceans. Well, just know they see you too. In his mind, we found many treasured memories where we had filled each other with love and joy. And this now life and times, or yet another, we will hold dear for eternity. And for all of you who have the privilege of running down the shore and whales seeing you and you seeing whales, or on boats and you get to visit with whales, and oh, those happy memories. Those whales are putting those memories in their memory bank. Tilikum informed me, "We have had many lifetimes together." We realized that it was no accident that I had found him in his captivity and need. We are connected forever by love and companionship. And I've already shared about how if something is meant to be, if it's a part of your Akashic records or a part of your life plan for this life, that it will not pass you by. This time it had been a sad dance we stepped into action to, drawn into the music of this life on earth and the wills of others. He placed me back on the cove ridge. He stayed in the water below, looking up at me. I thought this was farewell once again. Then suddenly Tilikum got a strange expression on his face, one of going far and seeing something he didn't like. Then before I knew it, we were both returning to the SeaWorld Park. He had sat me down on a sloped cement slab with my feet hanging in the pool water. He was above me, in the air, noiseless, intently listening. I asked him, "Why am I sitting with my feet in the water while you are not in the water? Also, why are we here? How could you so easily take me wherever you wanted?" But see, at this point, I was still trying, okay, well, when he was alive and he wasn't very respectful, he had a lot to learn and he was intruding on my energy. But I wasn't even expecting a visit from Tilikum. I thought, okay, it's done. He'll reincarnate or whatever, he'll do. But, so I was a little surprised. I was like, ah. And then that his character had changed. So he wasn't putting himself in the water. He wasn't sinking to the bottom of his pool or any of those kind of things. He wasn't even in the water, but he put me in the water. Silence. I was a little concerned, wondering if he was on the verge of a breakdown, and how would I deal with it if he broke. Once again, I was in uncharted waters, literally and figuratively. Timidly, I asked again, "Why are we here, Tilikum?" He shushed me mid-sentence with a distinct shh sound while continuing his focused listening to something I could not hear. I waited, appreciating how a whale's hearing is much better than mine. After a time, Tilikum announced, "They're deciding what to do next with my body." "What does it matter?" I experimentally asked. "You are free of that body. You can go anywhere you want to go now. You don't have to hang out around here." With his keen sense of smell, he had us take several deep whiffs of the unseen, diseased, eaten, and decaying body. He stored the odor deep into the core of our memories. We will never forget that death smell and the life that had brought it forth. Ascension Seeds. I choose the events and moments I keep. And sometimes those are tragedies, or what were perceived to be tragedies, because we still have to work through them and we still need to remember them. And remember, this was after Tilikum had, he had physically died the physical death, but he was still conjuring up or pulling up and being actively remembering, almost like not a life review, because he had not crossed over and he was not doing that life review and integration of all that he was supposed to learn through what he had been through, and possibly at that point planning another life. He was still in the throes of the decay and the death of that life, of this life. And he still didn't really know where he was supposed to go or what he was supposed to do. He still didn't feel free of that life and the tragedies of it. So right now, just take a moment to, what are the events and memories that keep replaying in your mind? And I know these go through all the diving deepers and all the things that I share, because it's so important that when those things pop up, when we become aware of, as Tilikum become aware of his body and them deciding on what to do with it, knowing that it was going to come to an end, that they were going to do something with that body would be gone and he could never return to it again, yet he was still energetically connected to it. And so that kind of, on a surface level, explains ghost and crossed, spirits or souls that have not crossed over and they're still on the earth plane even after their physical body dies. And either they choose not to go and cross over, or they don't know that they're deceased and they don't know they're supposed to cross over, or they hadn't decided what they're going to do, what they believe and where their energy will go after their physical body dies, which is kind of, Tilikum is coming to me. He was naive still at this point, and he didn't know. Beloved, that you need to be thinking about these things. And the energies, the memories that you're going to be taking with you, the events and the memories that you're going to be taking with you after you die. And this is why, too, a lot of times people who die tragically, like I remember one spirit that came to me, it was after a shooting, and it was a female, and she had been shot unexpectedly. She was having a good time, partying, having fun, and boom, she got shot and she was dead, and she came to me right after she got shot. I didn't even know her. This is the way it works for me sometimes. She just showed up, and she said, I wasn't ready to go yet. It wasn't my time. And so, and that's a whole nother subject about being taken when we're not yet ready. But our guides, we can be protected, and we can be alarmed or alerted about when we shouldn't go, because we've also heard stories of people who said, no, I'm not going to get on that airplane. I have a bad feeling about it. And the airplane crashes. Or maybe it doesn't crash because they're not on it, you know. So it's like we have to follow the prompting of our spirit, our soul, higher self, angels, guides, to be alerted of when, how to be safe. And that's totally kind of off whatever, but it had kind of been on my mind because Ariel's been visiting with me this morning and giving me some messages that kind of went along with that. So, bonus. Okay. 35 Star Children. Tilikum in the blink of an eye took us up into a starlit black sky. I was with Tilikum in essence. We were one being with two minds and souls. We shaped our unified self into a constellation, a group of stars representing our lives and existence, our sacrifices written in the skies. We would be a beacon light to many who would fall peril to a blackness put on them by others. And I really do hope, beloved ones, that the sharing of Tilikum's ascension has really, that it is like your North Star, that it will help guide you into this next phase of the earth and souls ascending. When I awoke in the morning, I put in my earphones, I turned on some music, trying to remember and write the events of the early morning meeting with Tilikum. The song that played on Upstart was one I had never heard before, Lost Stars by Adam Levine on the album Begin Again. And I feel like that's where I am as I'm coming to a close in the book, and I don't know if I'll finish reading it in this sitting today or if it will take another sitting tomorrow. But it's like I'm ending one phase of my life and a new phase is coming up, and it's kind of sad, but it's also kind of joyous, and it's like I've done all that I can do with Tilikum's ascension at this point, and not to say that I won't be called to do something further with it in the future, but it's kind of like my autobiography, and I know I'm getting a little nostalgic on you, beloved. But this is me being real with you, coming to you just as I am, as I'm finishing up Tilikum's ascension. And we've had, this year has been, I don't know, terrible or what. We've had frogs, like frogs. Oh my God, the year of the frogs. So, well, they're like the toads, the year of toads. And so we had these little baby, and then, you know, some of them are bigger, and, you know, we've cleared away the water, the places where it's like, where are these frogs coming from? How are these, like, we've cleared away all the water puddles and standing water, and, you know, there's got to be some place where these frogs are laying eggs, right? And Candio, oh my gosh, she goes after them, and frogs are not good for dogs. And she will pin them down, catch them, and then she starts foaming at the mouth. And then she has an allergic reaction or just a reaction to this foam and this whatever this stuff is that these frogs are excreting. And sorry if the camera's shaking, she's under the table where the whatever. Yeah, she started itching right now, even though she hadn't had a frog in a few days, thank God. But beloved, when I took a break here a little bit ago, And I took the plants down and I watered them, took them outside and I watered them. And one of them I had hanging up on a hook outside, and I watered it and it drained. And so then I brought that plant that had been hanging on a hook outside. It came from in here to on a hook, and then from the hook to the inside, and a baby frog jumped out of it. Lo and behold, there was a baby frog in Studio B, because I couldn't catch it. And Candio wasn't in here at the time, so I'm just looking. Well, any minute she gonna sense that frog, because she can sniff them out. Actually, Brownie, our little Min-Pin, he's the one, he sniffs them out, and then she pins them down. It's a mess. It's like, we went somewhere the other day, my husband and I, and we were sitting at this person's desk taking care of some business, right? And on his desk, he had a little figurine of a frog. I'm like, what is the deal with frogs? I'm noticing frogs everywhere, and now there's a frog in Studio B. I share all that with you to share with you that I guess we're in the frog days, and what does that mean, frog totem? And what does it mean personally to me? And we can look it up online, and, but everything becomes a part of the reading. So if I think about, well, Candio, she really shouldn't be getting frogs, and she gets frogs, and then she starts itching and having a reaction, and then I got to bathe her, and I got to give her some Benadryl, and I got to do all this. It makes a lot more work for me. When I started with Tilikum, I'm going to watch the documentary, Blackfish. I'm going to go psychically, energetically, astral travel, and check on Tilikum. And lo and behold, here I am in 2025. That was 2016. Still talking about Tilikum. I don't know what the frogs are going to bring. A little baby frog. I don't know how it got in the plant. But these are all clues that will help me find my way as I go forward. So there was that song playing, Lost Stars, on the album Begin Again. And I would say that my message is still about, to be able to help you find your North Star, your soul purpose, your mission for being here. If you've studied what your North Star is, then you have a little bit more of a clue about what that is, what your North Star is. If you went to one of those online calculators and you figured it out, what your soul purpose is. And I've shared with you how after that, I'm getting the goosebumps. So you're seeing in real live action the way it works, at least for me, is that Candio, she has her own story. She's been reincarnated, and I've had visitations with some of her past lives, and some of them are tragic, most of them are, but I want to share those stories. I don't know if I'll write them out the way I did Tilikum's Ascension. It took a long time to write out Tilikum's Ascension because I was still working through it. And as you see, as I've read through it, I think this is the third time I've shared an anniversary edition, and each time it's different. And so if it's now time to put that to bed and to start working on Candio's story, and I have some other stories and things, astral travels and soul rescues that I want to share with you. And if I can punch through and share those stories, the ones that I've stockpiled, then perhaps I'll start being able to share some of the new ones, even though now that I've ascended to the point, a lot of things that are revealed to me are very quickly, like what Ariel was sharing with me a few minutes ago when I was watering the plants and stuff. That just took a few minutes. It wasn't a long, drawn-out soul rescue, because now I know more about what to do when things come up. And see, you too, beloveds, you ascend, and no matter how old you are, if you're a lot younger than me, I've been working on this consciously since 2011. It's now 2024, almost 2025. So, you know, it takes time. And I'm still learning. I'm still learning, beloved. Like, I'm learning, what does these frogs mean? I think this is going to take a little time. Anyway, I am beginning again. And you too will have your new beginnings. The messages of the morning were confirmed. Lyrics like, are we all lost stars trying to light up the dark? Yes, we are all lost stars trying to light up our dark. Bring the light and the love into our dark spots and places. And God, tell us the reason. Please give me some answers. And I heard you call my name. Are you listening for the still small voice? Are you listening for your intuition guidance? Are you listening for the Ariels and your angels and ascended masters and guides and that are there to help you? Are you listening for their messages? Are you seeing them and noticing in them and going, oh my God, there's a little baby frog in Studio B now. What am I going to do with that? What does that mean? So I heard you call my name, sung to me as I wrote about Tilikum and mine adventures of spirit and truth, of living amongst the stars after living amongst men. The trick is for us to learn to be all that we are in this one cell individual connected to heaven, the Akashic Records, life purpose, and all of that. And then once we've learned to heal and connect in with ourself, oversoul, higher self through oversoul, and our spiritual guides, our soul families, that many of your soul families, beloved one, that's tribe, those soul tribe you're looking for, many of them are not here on this earth. Or some of them, they are here on this earth and they're in your life, but you wouldn't recognize them because they're having their own ordeals and traumas and things that they're dealing with, their own ascension that they're trying to work through. But if you can connect in with your soul tribe on the other side, the oversouls on the other side of the veil, they can give you direction on how you can handle some of the people in your life that are just confusing to you when you're like, you're supposed to be helping me in this lifetime. And they could say to you, well, you're supposed to be helping me in this lifetime. And you're both going, don't you see that we're having trouble in this lifetime and we need help? So be the bigger person, because by listening to this, watching till this, you know a little bit more than they do now. So it's your responsibility. To whom much is given, I'm giving you Ascension Seeds, much is expected. Become the counselor. Ascension Seeds. When I look at the stars, I feel connected to them. I know I hear that from many people, whether you relate with the term starseed or not. Scientists are even proven biologically that in our bodies we have stardust, the same material and things that the stars and the rocks up there are made out of, we have here. And in fact, this Earth planet that we live on is a great big rock in space. From it, and from the advantage from another planet, this may look like a twinkle twinkle in the sky, like a star. 36, divided. After being a star in the sky with Tilikum in the morning, he came to me in the evening while I practiced yoga. He rode within the music playing through my earbuds and opened my heart to him. I received the overwhelming sense that he was mourning the loss of the music, dance, and applause of happy people. He didn't admit this to me, or perhaps even to himself. But when he came to me, the essence of the music played changed from meditative to crowd-pleasing beats. I heard people giggling and clapping like what would be in a theme park. And so here's a really big thing right here. So he didn't admit this to me, or perhaps even to himself. What are you not admitting to yourself? What are you not admitting to others? And sometimes we're not meant to share things, our internal deep hurts and truths, with other people, but we do need to see them for ourselves. And I'm being reminded, gentle ascension though, and that's why I've put together, or I'm putting together, depending on when you're watching this, starting to put together the step-by-step. And, it's like if you balance all your chakras, and, a lot of people are having spontaneous awakenings of the Kundalini and then going, oh my God, I don't know what to do with this. That's how come a lot of people are having dark nights of the souls. And I've had some dark nights of the souls myself, beloved. And those dark nights of the souls, they need a gentle touch. They need a gentle ascension. They need let's go back to the beginning. And let's start with breathing. Just breathe. Learn to be in this moment. And then moving forward into the deeper practices to find the balance, and then to find the answers, to find the healing ascension. So that's why over at Living Ascension, you can find that over there. And so he perceived that he had had what he wanted out of life. He contented himself that what he had lost in wild freedom had been worth the fun of the show. Noticing I observed him, he flooded us with changing moods. First, he couldn't have enjoyed life, not marked by mental confusion and a body racked with the pain of sickness and loneliness. Then he revisioned and felt the delight at children excitedly jumping up and down and laughing, and big people loudly applauding after he had performed. It was at those times that he was happy and proud. He was trying to understand the meaning of his life. He was doing a life review, beloved. I couldn't help but think about what Heavenly Father had told him during their time together. Whales don't need to be touched by humans. My ordinary senses told me that maybe that's because whales were not meant to be in captivity. Instead, they were intended to be free to roam the vast open seas. But Tilikum was no wild creature anymore, or was he? I had to see where this would go and hope I would know what to say or do. And Tilikum's been with us through this reading and through the 2024 reading, and he still remembers this lifetime and the show and the performances, and he is learning, and he's smiling at me. He is learning how to take in all of those things, to look at just the applause and the children and the happiness that he spread to other people, and to take that in himself. And that's what we need to do as well, beloved. So the people that's in your life, just try to bring joy and happiness. That's what I'm trying to do by sharing these messages with you. I want you to be happy. I want you to be blessed. I want you to believe that you are love spreading out, because you are the beloved. Ascension Seeds. I find peace and joy in every circumstance. See, if Tilikum could have learned to find peace and joy in his circumstances, but his hunger, and I see that, and I've had many, see, choking on that. I've had many souls that have come to me that have died from their addictions, overdoses. And they come to me after they have died, either from overdose or from other circumstances, wrong place, wrong time, to meet the needs of their addictions. And, they all tell me that they wished that they had gotten help. And so if you're struggling with any kind of addiction, get help, get assistance. And yeah, that's just the most important thing that I can say to you. Admit it. See that in yourself. When you can see the truth, then you can get help and assistance. And yeah, it might mean that you have to admit it to someone. As we saw Tilikum earlier, whether he could even admit it to himself, right? But his need of wanting food and being angry at his circumstances blinded him in his lifetime to the good that he could do and was doing, bringing joy to people, right? But then let's not forget that because of his life ordeals and his tragic death, he has made the miracle, he helped make the miracle that no more whales will be put into captivity or bred into captivity at SeaWorld. How wonderful is that? And he's applauding himself. And he's saying, I never thought of it like that, Connie. And even in the afterlife, he's being healed. And he can now release parts of this life. And if we can just do the same right here and right now, then we can have the joy journey now and not have to wait until our afterlife or next life to try to fulfill those missions. See, this is about correcting the karma now in this lifetime. And we're learning from Tilikum that he's saying, you should do that. You should do that, he says. 37, dragon DNA. Tilikum was not processing with me. Are you processing with me? But instead was self-absorbed, planning his next move, making me a mere spectator to an eternal soul, rationalizing after a physical life's death. Tilikum's next notions came through as authoritative with a great sense of confidence and conviction. I will live again after humankind has developed an appreciation for the dragon's magnificence. Breaking through his inward discourse, I hesitantly asked, why did you use the term dragon and not whale? He instructed me, search yourself. Do you not feel the dragon blood coursing through your DNA? Beloved ascending soul, do you feel the dragon blood DNA coursing through your soul? It was now my turn to seek inner knowledge. I did feel that long ago origin strand. Also, as of late, I had sensed the dragon's energy in the earth, stars, and many people I met. So this was no surprise to me. It was only unexpected to suppose that Tilikum also realized his dragon parts. Tilikum bellowed proudly, proclaiming to the heavens and earth, the dragon blood gives rise and fall to fire and heat and power and determination. Dragon blood knows no boundaries. It does not easily suffer, will not be kept down, and will rise again no matter what its defeats may seem. It is only made stronger in every battle it fights. Did you take that in, beloved? Would you like me to read that again and take it in with me? The dragon blood gives rise and fall to fire and heat and power and determination within me. Dragon blood knows no boundaries. The dragon blood within me knows no boundaries. It does not easily suffer. It does not. It will not be kept down. I will rise again. And will rise again and again and again, no matter what its defeats may seem. It is not defeated. It may seem as though they are. It may seem as though I am defeated at times, but I am not. It is only made stronger in every battle it fights. Every battle I fight, I come back stronger. Write it down with me. Believe it with me, beloved. With every battle you fight, you come back stronger. The dragon DNA lives within you and me. I kept silent and still at this time as Tilikum reclaimed his power from Earth. I raised an eyebrow in absolute bewilderment at Tilikum broadcasting to all of creation. Dragons were the first ones here on Earth, the ancients before ancient was a word or a person or a time. They were here when the Earth was a fireball, before the dinosaurs, the floods, or the Ice Age. Dragons lived and conquered and never died. They live on in the wells as well as you and me. As Tilikum carried his future on the courage and strength of the dragon, he plotted that he would come back again, this time more powerful. As Tilikum schemed, questions coursed through my mind. Do dragons exist in our blood and bones? If so, should we embrace the dragon parts in ourselves? Are dragons something to fear or praise? Ascension Seeds. I am learning about what I am created from. And it was at this time that I set forth with my questions. Are dragons real? And see, this is a little thing. Before you go to sleep tonight, if you want to know the truth of something, ask your spirit guides, ask your inner self, your higher self, your oversoul, if you were meant to know, to please show you the truth of something. And that was what I did. Show me the truth of dragons. And is what Tilikum said and proclaimed to all of creation, is it correct? So in my dreams that night, as I pondered if it was true or not true, and I was an open, like, I don't know. Seems kind of strange. Never really thought about it before. But my higher self, oversoul, knows the truth. The angels, ascended masters, Ariels, they know the truth. Please show me the truth. And in my dreams, visions that night, I dreamt, and Tilikum came with me, and he said, I will show you the truth. Because he knows the truth, he is the record keeper of all Earth's time creation. So perhaps if you want to see for yourself, Tilikum will take you on a tour. And he's shaking his head, yes. All you have to do is ask him. He's saying, yes, he will. That he's like an ascended master now. And he can be in all of your dreams if you would so choose. But he will not intrude. You must ask politely, he says. With etiquette, he says. And so that he says, that's what I learned from Connie. So Tilikum took me to the very beginnings when the earth was just a fireball. And it was like this hot, molten lava type, but it wasn't lava. Not as we would see it, but it was kind of like that. But it was the core of the earth. And he took me in there, and in it, it was like if you were to, you know what I'm seeing? Little tadpoles. It was like little tadpoles in this lava. And they were like dragons. Are you serious? Like this is just coming to me now. Like putting 1 and 1 together, right? 1 and 1 equals 2. So is the frog like an ancient prehistoric dragon? And that reminds me another thing. The other day, we had one of those big Texas lizards, you know, that are brown and they look like an oak tree. It was in the house, and I was able to catch it very easily and put it back outside. Dragon energy is here. Dragon energy in the form of a little tiny frog is here in Studio B with me. But dragon energy, dragons, this earth is created in the very beginning from dragon. We all come from dragon. Yes, we have dragon DNA in us. And so I'm being reminded to remind you that whatever your history is here on earth will also determine the form of how much dragon energy you have, or whether you're able to tap into it easily, or if it takes a little bit more work. But even if you don't feel the dragon energy DNA coursing throughout your body, all of these signs that came about, little baby frog in the studio, or toad, I should say, on the day that I'm reading and sharing this with you, and then them telling me the Ascension Seeds Network and the earth, actually, the earth, when I tap into the channels, the energetic grids of the earth and go into its past history to the very beginning and go down into the earth's center, and it is formulated and brought forth through fire, dragon, fire energy. And then it has expanded and grown, and the earth has gone through many changes, as have you as a creative and a part of creation, the different forms that you have gone through. So whether you hold the earth energy of dragon, and also what they're telling me to share with you is that dragons, while here on the earth in the form of the very beginning of earth's evolution, ascension, creation, that came from other planets, other solar systems far out there to seed the earth and other planets. So your DNA or your connection to dragon may be from earth. It may be from other planets, solar systems, times, ancient times. But we all have the ability to connect into what we just read, that fire and that determination to live on. Dragons have lived on. They are still living on. And they're in another dimension now here on earth, but still a part of it that we can connect into.
And the Dragon Alchemy playlist was founded. You can find more at Living Ascension, including the 2025 Dragon Activation Guided Meditation.